What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel and my podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I want to take this time to thank everyone who joined our open conversation this past Saturday. It was truly amazing. I'm just so grateful that we had a great time together. But on today's video, I want to talk about desire. I really want to talk about desire, and there's two quotes from Neville Goddard that seem to contradict each other, but together they really hold the secret to collapsing time and having your manifestation now. And this thought for this video came about because I've been talking to a few clients recently, and a lot of them seem to be in a state of just desiring instead of moving over and shifting over to the having. And so I want to talk about this. So, of course, you guys know this first quote. We hear it all the time from Neville Goddard, and it's called "To desire a state is to have it." And what this means is this is the affirmation of possession. So, understand that the desire that arises within you didn't originate in lack. It rose because the state of fulfillment of that desire of fulfillment, it already exists inside of you. So desire emerges from fulfillment, you guys, not lack. If you desire anything, it's because it's already fulfilled. So true desire doesn't arise from panic or need. It bubbles up as a signal that you're ready to remember your wholeness in that area, whether it is love with a specific person, whether it is money, whether it's career, whatever the case may be, that desire is calling forth that version of you to remember more of yourself, more of your wholeness. So think of it like deja vu from your higher self, the echoes of a timeline that you already inhabit, because remember, creation is finished. So it's a vibration you're already in touch with, which is why it calls out to you. So the fact that I desire it means it's already mine in the mind of I am. And desire is a revelation of identity. So this is what I've noticed about desires for myself personally, that it is a revelation of identity. So the desire is not for a particular thing. It is a reflection of the version of you who already exists and is inviting you into embodiment. And of course, you're going to naturally experience that thing that you want, but you're not manifesting the external. You're being shown the next state of self awareness. So, the whole reason that we desire anything, you guys, is to experience more of ourself, more of our wholeness, more of that unity consciousness, more levels, more versions to express the wholeness that we truly are. So that's why most aligned desires, they feel like truth and not desperation. So you're not meant to chase the desire. You're meant to remember who you are through it, through that desire, through the experience of having that thing or experience. You're here to remember that you are the source of it all. And it's really understanding that desire is the doorway and not the destination. And I think we get caught up in this. This is why so many people get into longing, the desiring for their desire or their manifestation. And it's in that assumption that they believe that it's outside of them. So they're in this constant state of needing and wanting and just desiring something that they feel that they don't have. But once the desire reveals itself, your only job is to shift into being. And the longer you analyze the desire, you over spiritualize it or try to make it happen, the more you delay your embodiment. So instead of asking, how will this come? You have to ask, who am I now that it's already done? So the desire is the call and the identity is the answer. And so this next quote from Neville Goddard, it seems like a contradiction to the one I just talked about, but it really does align with what we're talking about here. So the quote is from Assumptions Hardened into Fact, his lecture, and it says, "To desire a state is to confess you do not now occupy it. The only thing you can do is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." And so this means that if you remain in desire, this constantly longing, waiting, and hoping, you are reinforcing the gap, the belief that there's now a desire in a form or something that you think will bring you some sort of happiness, and it's supposedly outside of you, you automatically put that separation between you and your fulfillment. So again, you're not embodying the state, you're observing it from afar, but then affirming it's not yet yours, and you have to figure out how to move towards it instead of, or bring it here to you. So again, desire is a doorway, not a dwelling. So you acknowledge it and then move into being. So again, you guys know that wanting, constant wanting, is reinforcing lack. So the more you think that I want it, the more you tell consciousness, I'm not it. So you're not conscious of already being that within. And every repetition of desire energizes the timeline where you're still separate from it. So you're essentially praying to a God of absence, thinking that there's a God outside of you or something far off from you that you're trying to petition in order to get your desires. So longing is worshiping what you believe you're not allowed to have. And you have to go on some journey or prove yourself to, or do something to finally be good enough or granted your wish, right? But you wouldn't desire it if it wasn't already fulfilled within you. And the second thing you understand with this is you can't manifest from the wrong identity. So no matter how many tools you use, if you're still in the identity of lack, it will never feel done. You will just think you need to do more things and figure out more techniques in order to get there. And the state must be natural. So you must feel like the kind of person to whom this just makes sense. So you could ask yourself, am I being the one who already has it or still trying to become them? Because remember, you don't need to earn it. You need to occupy it. And where do you occupy it, guys? You occupy it from within. That's why you use your first language, your spiritual sensation, to occupy it, to become conscious of it within. Whatever you accept in consciousness within first must be pushed out. And so the last thing you need to understand about this quote is that desire must die into assumption. So the seed of desire must be buried in assumption as it is so. So if you keep pulling up that seed to check if it's growing, you're still doubting. So you have to let the desire dissolve into being, into the felt sense that it's normal and already yours. And you stop wanting when you finally believe it into reality, right? You don't just visit that state, you live there, you dwell there. So essentially, desiring isn't wrong, but it is revealing something. It is revealing I am in ever increasing portions, right? But if you stay stuck in desiring it, you delay it. So you don't manifest by wanting, you manifest by knowing. And I want to say to you guys that the things, the material things that you want, they are the expressions of, or of signaling a sort of state of being. But what it really is an identity, that you are the one that has that, that the material thing or the outcome is the expression that comes from an identity, right? So the key here in all of this is all desires are I am's desires. You've heard me say this before. So if all desires are I am's desires, that means that they are already fulfilled and they're seeking expression through you, not from you. So you are not the source of the desire. You are the vessel of its expression. That is what this human body, this human perspective is here for. So desire equals a divine urge of fulfillment, to recognize the fulfillment that you are. So when you feel the inner sensation of desire, it's because it already exists in the realm of I am, which is pure awareness. And the desire is not separate from you. It's recognizing what's already in the mind of God or in the mind of I am. So it's not coming from your limited human perspective mind, the one that has a time and a specific story and a finite mind. It is coming through you from the infinite mind, out of space and time, outside of space and time. So that's why you can go within and you can imagine it being the way that you want it to be. So desire isn't lack, it's memory. It is memory, remembering, because All realities have already played out. Creation has been finished. So the I am isn't trying to get anything, it is simply expressing itself. And your only job isn't to fulfill the desire, it is done. Your job is to embody it. This is what it means to be the operant power. And I think that most people hear the operant power and they think and they assume that I must do something now to make it happen. But again, you're not here to figure out how to make it happen. You're here to be the embodiment of that fulfilled desire. And that means resting in the identity of this is already done and letting form take care of itself. So you become the channel for the expression and the experience and not the chaser. Because remember, I am doesn't chase, it simply chooses. And what it chooses, it becomes in that unfolding. And the desire seeks tangibility through you. So again, just like a seed already knows it's a tree, your desire already knows it's fulfilled. So your role isn't to bring it to life, it's to align with the version of you where it is already real. And this is by choice, by assumption, by using your inner senses. So physical reality is just the echo of spiritual embodiment. Please understand that. So you're not manifesting a thing, you are animating the one truth. So, how do you reconcile this understanding? And you reconcile it means it is to rest in being. And you rest in being by understanding that resting in being is the assumption that there is no reality to fix, heal, or change. And I know we've talked about this, but I really want to talk about it from this perspective because number one, nothing is wrong. There's only a misidentification going on. And when you believe something in your reality needs to be fixed, you've forgotten your true identity. So you're looking at the hologram through the lens of lack when really nothing is wrong. Nothing ever was. The dream may appear distorted, but I am is still whole. So you rest when you realize there was never a problem to solve, only a self to remember that you are I am. And the second thing you understand is you are not the fixer slash doer of the how. You are the field. So the version of you who's rushing to heal, solve, or improve is still trapped in the illusion of separation. So resting means returning to the knowing that you are the one through whom all experience flows, not the one trying to correct the flow. So you shift the world by being and not battling the image. So you could think simply that I don't have to change reality. I only have to stop reacting to the false one or the one that I no longer want to experience. And so the last thing is the assumption is it is already done. So when you rest in being, your default assumption becomes that nothing is missing. I already am. And this is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't look like it. So you're not waiting for things to line up. You're resting in the truth that they already have been. So I know that Neville says something about you needing a change in posture. And so rest is the posture of the fulfilled self. Resting, being still, chilling. That is the posture of someone that is fulfilled. So you're not here to fix the dream, you guys. You're not here to fix the screen, what it's doing. You're here to wake up inside it as the one that never lacked a thing. It's just simply to remember not to fix. Those desires are not a call to fix or go on a long extended journey. They're to wake up and remember who you are, the source, and then choose again, right? So I just wanted to drop this video today. I really hope it helped you, inspired you to get out of that longing, the longing, thinking that something is outside of you, thinking that you must constantly keep desiring something, and move into that resting, move into that being, knowing it's already done. Your job is not to figure out the how. Your job is not to say, okay, I have this desire, and so now I must go on a journey to fulfill this desire. No, when you see the desire or feel that urge, Your only job is to know more of yourself, to express more of yourself. You shift to that by going within and imagining, feeling in, using your spiritual sensation and resting in that state. That is how you have it. You must first have a thing in consciousness before you have it in form. So it's very simple, you guys. There's nothing that you can really physically do in order to make it happen without first being conscious of it within. But you'll naturally be moved without all of this mental gymnastics here. So trust in the unseen, you guys. Trust what you're doing within, because that is the truth anyway. All right. So I'm going to leave this here. Once again, I really hope that this assists you. Get down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts, your feelings. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to work with me, grab my books. Everything is down in the description box below. And once again, you guys, imagination is on your side, and I am too. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.